Welcome back again today, friends, where I am sharing with you some of my top massive freezer meals for 2024. I am serving up 32 servings of Cowboy Grub. By the way, think almost 1,000 servings of freezer meals because I feed myself, but I also feed a household of 10. Some days we have up to 15. Many teenagers here as well. So 32 servings of Cowboy Grub, 20 servings of chicken Lazone, 32 servings of chicken fried double rice, 64 servings of Queso chicken bake. We've got over 100 servings of meatloaf coming up. So much. There's so mega much. Trimtastic Cupcakes, apple muffins, French toast, chocolate chip banana muffins, pumpkin banana muffins, so many breakfast burritos, over 120 eggs, over 6 pounds of sausage, a truckload of cheese, a dozen overnight oats, and over 100 bagel breakfast sandwiches. I hope you are buckled up and ready to go. Let's get super mega freezer cooking. Yay. Well, we got 20 pounds of ground beef here with our name on it. We got another 20 pounds of chicken over yonder in one of our big 30-quart mixing bowls. We're gonna make some big freezer meals happen. Now, these are healthy freezer meals, and these are from and inspired by the Trim Healthy Mama ladies. And this is Trim Healthy Starter Book. It's dog-eared, it's stained. It gives the whole plan in a nutshell, and it has been so helpful for me. Now, several of these recipes I have found linked online where the Trim Healthy Mama folks have shared them on their Facebook page over the years. There's also some blogs where I'll link for the recipes that I can find, but all of the recipes that we're doing in this video are also in this book. And if you don't give a hoot about Trim Healthy Mama, I mean, that's just fine. Put that book over there, no big deal. These recipes are sugar-free, there's no white flour, several of them are dairy-free, or can be tweaked in different ways to meet different dietary needs. So even if you don't do Trim Healthy Mama, these are fantastic, healthy recipes to have in your freezer. Let's get cooking. So the big healthy freezer meals that we are doing in this video are coming from this Trim Healthy Starter Book, but I do have links for several of them from the Trim Healthy Mama folks and from some other blogs that I will link down in the description below. And I will also link this Trim Healthy Starter Book for you down in the description too. So the healthy recipes that we are doing is a recipe that they call Cowboy Grub, which we're gonna do a ×5 version of that recipe. So that will be 5 freezer meals from that. We will be doing another one called Chicken Fried Double Rice. We're gonna do Pearl's Marvelous Meatloaf. We're gonna do the Dreamy Chicken Lazone. We're also gonna do their Queso chicken bake. And again, all of these I'm at least ×5ing the recipes because if we're doing it, we're doing it. We're getting a lot of freezer meals in the freezer. So I just went down to the basement, came back up, brought our supplies up. I'm just gonna move that ground beef over for right now. And I've got the 5 pounds of ground beef that we're gonna cook up to do a ×5 batch of this recipe. And here's the other ingredients. They have diced tomatoes, or if you wanna use like Rotel style tomatoes with green chilies. These are just regular diced tomatoes. It also calls for 1 cup of brown rice, and I need 5 cups of brown rice. And I don't have any brown rice in this house right now other than my freeze-dried brown rice from Thrive Life. So we're gonna go ahead and use this, which requires, let's see, on the back here, it says cook 1 cup of rice with 1 cup of water and a ½ teaspoon of salt. Simmer covered for 8 minutes. Let's stand for 5 minutes, so we will get that going. And this has a shelf life of 7 years, also gluten-free, so we will be using that. And another thing it calls for is veggie blend, which you can get that in the freezer section, like even at Walmart, and it's usually just celery, onions, and peppers, and I don't have any veggie blend, but hey look, I've got celery, onions, and peppers, so we're gonna be adding that in. It also calls for some pinto beans, and we have some home canned pinto beans. Also calls for corn, and we have home canned corn, and we'll be using garlic powder and cumin and chili powder. And this Cowboy Grub, you can eat it in a bowl and top it with a dollop of Greek yogurt. You can also add a few of those blue corn chips. And in the recipe that I'm gonna link, they also have some other suggestions on ways you can eat it. And they call this an e-meal, which yet again is anchored in protein with some healthy carbs and minimal fats. But we're gonna jump in here and get the meat cooking. Once I get some scissors and we can get into our packs here. And with this particular meal, we'll just, honestly, I'll probably rinse the ground beef. Although the ground beef is really lean already because it is grass-fed and ground finished. It's from the local J&L Green Farm, where I do like to buy the farm-raised meat here locally in the Shenandoah Valley. And in cooking this particular meat from their farm, I don't usually find that it has a lot of grease on it. But because it is an e-meal, it's just a little thing that I'm doing, I will rinse it, and that is okay. You can also use lean turkey with this. Yeah, they say also lean turkey works. Alrighty, so I got our precious little baby pot for our 5 cups of rice. Get that done. One of the big pots out of the way. Okay, so now we'll get our little bit of water in our precious little pot here. Not using the pot filler with this little amount. And then we're just gonna use this rice, but I will get the heat going. There we go. Usually in long-term food storage anyway, brown rice, like now I'm like, are the heat waves letting this video show up? Brown rice doesn't last as long as white rice. Another thing we can do tonight, and I know I got water running behind me, we are going to get that chicken cooking in the Instant Pot just to prep it for some of these chicken recipes that we'll be working on tomorrow, and honestly probably the next day too, just picking our way through this big healthy freezer cooking time. And this ground beef, like I said, it has no grease dripping off of it at all. It's very lean, but I'm just going to rinse it quickly. That is something that the Trim Healthy Mama ladies suggest whenever you're doing your e-meals if you're not cooking with turkey. If it's an S meal, which is the protein and the healthy fats, then it's all right. But we will just do what they say because Pearl and Serene know. And then I also need to chop up the celery and onion and pepper and get that cooking also in this pan. So, be right back with that. And here's how the freeze-dried brown rice turned out. So now we're gonna saute up those vegetables and keep on going with this Cowboy Grub. Alrighty, so we have I did celery and red peppers and onions. I just cooked them in the same pan that we cooked the ground beef in. Since we're not adding a lot of fat to this Cowboy grub, I just put like a cup of water in here and let them soften, and we just cooked the water off. So now we are going to add in our cooked brown rice that we had from Thrive Market. I do have this heat turned off. As always, I'm like, oh, I hope I can fit this all in this pan. I might actually need my big red Dutch oven, and that's downstairs. Let's see, let me give it a couple stirs and see if we can make it. We need to add the ground beef and the tomatoes. Just 1 jar of corn and pinto beans. And again, this recipe, they have it over on the Trim Healthy Mama Facebook page, and that's what I'm linking you to, plus the Trim Healthy Starter book as well. That looks pretty. So here's how it is looking so far. But again, we're gonna fit in that rinsed ground beef. A few other little items there. But it does look nice and pretty. And then, as always, we'll encourage the ground beef, won't we? We'll say, come on, ground beef, you can do it. All right. And before I get stirring this, since we are going to fill it to the top per our usual, let's see if we can get our other items in, and then we'll do a one-time stirring situation. All right, so we're gonna add in our tomatoes. As we like to say, should have got a bigger boat, or we're gonna need a bigger boat, right? I think we can do it. Now, these beans might try to get us. Let me drain them a little further. Oh yeah, this is total Jamerrill style, isn't it? Let me rinse my hands and we'll do our seasonings. Okay, it's like, what could go wrong? Nothing's going wrong here, nothing to see. And since I am mega multiplying their recipe, let's say 2 tablespoons of chili powder, so I need quite a bit more of that. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of cumin. We're good, right? We're good, we're good. Everything's great, nothing's on fire. It's all gonna go great here. Okay, so 10 tablespoons of chili powder, nothing to see, nothing to see. We will do, looks like they've got, okay, so we will do 2 teaspoons of our red mint salt. And that's me ad-libbing, not doing the exact math based on what I have. That seems pretty good. That looks like a 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. Okay, so then it's just a matter of us stirring this all together. Okay, we did it. We are the champions, right? This is our big mega pan of the THM Cowboy Grub. And so what they say in the starter book that I'm linking you to is that how their recipe is originally written, there's about 4 servings. So, and I have ×5 the recipe, so we're counting this at about 20 servings. And I'm counting this, I'm gonna put it in 5 separate freezer bags, and this will be 5 different freezer meals. Now obviously one of these meals with 4 servings is not feeding all of my folks, but for this mama, for me in particular, and my folks who would also like to have this, there will be the servings available. So we did it, and now I'm going to eat this for my dinner. Yay. And I took a bowl and put it in the microwave, but we are going to heat this through for the seasonings and everything to blend real nice. Just have to cook it. Turn that down a little lower. Clean up my tomato mess. Cook it low and slow, and just keep stirring it. Then it'll need to, of course, cool again, and it'll be tomorrow. There's my microwave saying my quick zapped microwave version is done, but it'll be tomorrow before we bag these up, and we will work through more recipes in this big freezer cooking project. Okay friends, well I am back. It is another day, and we have these 2 big containers of the THM Cowboy Grub, which has been mighty delicious. I thought for some of these meals that we're doing, I want to freeze them in smaller portions. I also got these, which I saved the box to show you. These are a little bit more spendy. I got 2 sets to give them a shot. I additionally have glass meal prep containers, and you know, with my large freezer meal freezing in general, I always get glass dishes that are freezer safe and oven safe and all of that. However, I don't reheat things in these large glass containers directly from the freezer to the oven. I always have to plan ahead and grab the meal from the freezer the day before and get it defrosting in the refrigerator and reheat, follow the directions such as that. I want to get this in the smaller storage containers, and then we're gonna get started with our next recipe. Some of these we will put in larger containers, and some of these we're gonna do like mama lunch containers, okay? Thinking about mama here and whoever else would like them in the smaller container ready to go. So let's do this. So here I am using the new Rubbermaid Brilliance brand of food prep containers. This brand came with 2 300 milliliters or 1.3 cups containers. Also, it came with 2 3.2 cups, which is 760 milliliters, and it has 1 4.7 cups, which is 1.1 liters, and I got 2 of these sets. So I have a total of, let's explain this in Jamerrill language, 2 of the little bit bigger ones, and then I have 4 of the medium and 4 of the smaller ones. And so what I'm doing is I am putting this Cowboy Grub in as many of these containers as I possibly can. This is very delicious. Now some of these, like the smaller containers, that's the 1.3 cups, I might pair that with a sweet potato. Or these larger ones, I might have half of it for lunch with maybe some chicken or some other kind of protein on the side if I wanted to, and then have the other half of it later. Or I might pair it with a salad, or it's kind of like choose your own adventure with lunches and meals, right? But now that I have this Cowboy Grub in these containers, it'll be easy for me to set out and then reheat and just keep on marching through my mama life. Alrighty, so here is how the Cowboy Grub turned out in these containers, and I'm not getting them down in the freezer yet. I'm just going to put these in my upstairs refrigerator for right now as we continue to prep food and get food in other containers throughout the day. But 1 down, and now we're going to move on to our next recipe. So next up, we do need to get chicken in the Instant Pot, and then we might swirl over to work on those THM meatloaves while the chicken cooks, and then work through our chicken recipes. There's also some rice that we can go ahead and get cooking, and I'm still today using the freeze-dried brown rice, which worked great in this Cowboy Grub because that's what I have on hand. I had these years ago back at the Forest House when we were doing freezer meals, and I would use them to do freezer meal soups, and these say on here microwave, freezer, and dishwasher safe. So I had just got 1 pack of these. We're not necessarily, who knows what, doing soup in today's big freezer cooking video, but in freezer cooking I have planned coming up, we will be. And there also might be other recipes, like this Cowboy Grub could have gone in these containers too. We will use these as well. so getting back to that ground beef that we were defrosting the other day, and it has gone in one of my downstairs refrigerators, so that's part of how things work around here. Whenever, oh, and that has a nice little hole in it. Whenever I had a teenager get me the ground beef, they accidentally, I think they've grabbed 3 steaks here. So we will also meal prep those steaks. I got that smokeless griddle and air fryer food station situation from Costco. It was in my last Costco haul, and actually this afternoon I am having a teen get that out, get it fired up, test it out for us, see how that works. So I'm counting how many pounds of ground beef I actually have left here. I got 3 steaks, so we'll get those prepped, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pounds of ground beef here. And I need to do my meatloaf math as always, but I'm just gonna put these steaks in the refrigerator for when we get to the griddle. We won't be mad about that either. Okay, pushing up our sleeves, I'm gonna do some quick math on the recipes that I am doing. Again, I'm using this book, but I'm linking many of the recipes that they have publicly shared from their Facebook page down below. And okay, so the chicken fried double rice, that looked, let's see, that's, if you're using your book, that's on page 83. And so we'll do 5 pounds of chicken breast for that. We need to do 10 cups of cooked rice and about 2.5 cups of frozen peas. And it calls for 10 to 12 ounces of riced cauliflower, so that's, of course, times 5 as well. Okay, that one's good, and I need to bring up, I have some cartons of egg whites downstairs. And then the next one that we're doing, the queso chicken bake, which that chicken is in the Instant Pot. That is on page 94 of your books, friends. And that calls for 2.5 cups of diced pre-cooked chicken. That's another one that needs brown rice. Okay, it'll be 2.5 cups of brown rice. Just doing our brown rice math so we can get the brown rice cooking. And let's look at another one. Okay, the Dreamy chicken Lazone. I don't know how to say that. Tell me. Lazone, but it's S meal. It's on page 79 of our book, and I'm linking you to that one below. This one says 1.5 pounds of chicken tenderloins, thawed if frozen, which ours are chicken breasts. They're boneless, skinless, are thawed. And yeah, so that's 7.5 pounds. And I have a second 10 pound bag from good old Costco defrosted. So we'll be doing a little bit more than a ×5 batch with that because I have 10 pounds of chicken. We can handle it though. The other ingredients are things such as chicken broth and heavy cream and butter and spices and delicious things. And from their book, that's what the picture looks like of it. So if I had 10 pounds of this delicious chicken, book linked below, it prepped and ready to go in my freezer, me with other folks in different schedules and all things would definitely heat that up. And we might even end up having half of that for dinner tonight. Okay, I was thinking, you know, always prepping sweet potatoes around here. I will probably get a bag or 2 of sweet potatoes prepping as well because sweet potatoes go with everything. And let's see, then the other thing we were going to do is the meatloaf. I'm pretty sure, let's see what page. Okay, so the meatloaf from, again, following in your books, friends, from page 97, but they have several THM meatloaf recipes that they have shared online that I'll link to you below. So this meatloaf, I've already done it several times, and it calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I've already done the 10 pound version. And of course, we'll scooch it up a little bit because we have 13 pounds of defrosted ground beef. and meatloaf does not go to waste around here. And this recipe is interesting. Now, if you know anything about the THM ladies, yay, they love okra. They love frozen okra. They put it in smoothies, but don't knock it till you try it, okay? It's slimming and delicious, they say. So they put okra in a lot, and this meatloaf has frozen okra in it, but it probably has us putting it through the food processor. That's what they do a lot with the okra. Let me see here. Yes, add the contents of the food processor. So your goal is to not have any chunky pieces of okra. Process until completely broken down. So we'll be doing that. But I have hid okra in a great many things from their inspiration, and it's great. So this is the next recipe that we are doing, and so it says it serves 4. We're doing basically a 6.5 time batch. So we will be getting about 26 servings from how I've multiplied and you know, jacking up this delicious recipe. And again, it's on page 79 under their best starter skillet meals. So now we're going to mix our seasonings, and I've basically made everything into 2 tablespoons. And the mineral salt, I'm eyeballing, I do need the teaspoon for that. If we are lucky enough to find, here we go. I'm gonna add in my salt. We're gonna roll the chicken in these seasonings here in a few minutes. Well, there's 1.5 teaspoons. Let's do, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to do powder now. So I am measuring out the needed seasonings, and as I said, I'm doing 2 tablespoons of everything since we are doing 10 pounds of our boneless, skinless chicken breast. And I am just measuring those out. Then we are going to whisk those together, and we will be rolling our chicken through it and then cooking it in a whole lot of butter. Lots of good, delicious things coming up, that's for sure. And here I'm just taking a minute to put these spices back, at least for the moment. I know we'll, you know, get this salt out and all these different seasonings for different recipes, but just trying to keep things a little tidy, I'll put them back for now. Alrighty, smells delicious already. Can't just eat the seasonings, but now we'll get our chicken ready. Still have what's left of this chicken in this mega bowl. I also had put this whole bowl in my refrigerator downstairs just to let the chicken continue defrosting. We're just moving right along. So I have this 10-pound bag of chicken open, got a few more supplies to get out, and then we're just going to cook this up in the 17-inch large cast iron, which doesn't do us wrong. These pans have been pretty good to us. Delicious. I'm excited to eat this like now. And then also should be smart to prep that rice going to the rice that we need. And I think we need a little bit bigger precious pot today. So get that going. Alrighty, we are going to get this party started. How many cups did I say? Okay, so we need 12. I do have this pot filler. I could, let's see if I can catch it in time though. That's the question. I'm trying to measure out the exact water I need for this rice. Can I shut it off in time? There's a final spot. It's got to be turned off at the other spout when I'm really done using it, or it'll drip. Okay. Nice. All right, so all the multiplying math with this recipe, I'm going to see if I have that right. Yeah. It's basically 2 sticks of butter now. So I'm going to get 1 stick, I almost said defrosted, melted in this pan. It's not frozen butter, but I do appreciate my frozen butter. Okay. I did send someone down to get me some more of the freeze-dried brown rice. And I should get a little measuring cup for my heavy cream. I'll just use this. Just have water in it, but that's okay. Melt, butter, melt. Hold my little standing pad closer. So I'm thinking this may end up being 2 pans of 5 pounds each. When this rice is done, I could get a second pan going. That may be more what we do. And as I was sharing with y'all, I'm getting messages a lot of times over on IG and a lot of questions and comments about my weight loss. One question that I got yesterday, someone was asking me, well, in addition to running, what is it that I'm doing to lose weight? We're gonna get back to the IG question, and I'm going to answer it on here because it's one I've seen a lot. And the question is, besides running, what else am I doing? Am I eating any certain way? And obviously, you all know that it's the Trim Healthy Mama plan. But the thing is, if you've been watching over here for years, as I've already shared in this video, I have been doing and loving the Trim Healthy Mama plan. But there were several years, especially when I moved from the farmhouse to the forest house, where even if I was on it, I just wasn't losing weight. The weight wasn't budging. And also, as I've also shared in this video already, once I officially got back on in 2021, during the last part of my pregnancy with Tobin, and then I had a year or so where the weight didn't budge, but I was 100% on plan using the starter book. And so when I got that question, it just made me think about what I'm sharing in this video and my reasoning. Like, yeah, why wasn't I on it and I didn't lose weight? And my personal reason, and what some women have found, is that they have other things and issues in their body that they need to correct that are harming them, that are not helping them lose weight. It can be hormones. Depending on what your thyroid is doing, it may not be cooperating. For me, again, as I had shared, I had the high levels of E. coli in my body, and my body was so sick, and I was growing kidney stones and other adventures. And so I had to heal those parts of me, plus I was breastfeeding. And so as my body changed, as I was weaning Tobin and still continuing to be on plan, I saw that needle move and I lost the 25 pounds gently over about a year. And one thing that the Trim Healthy Mama sisters have always encouraged me on, and I say that, I don't really know them, okay, but just through reading their books and following them for years, you know, I'm a fan, is that our bodies are different and our journeys are different, and it's not a race. And for our body to release the weight, it's going to take time. And even in my own journey, I know that I have had noticeable weight loss that people are commenting on over the last 6 months. However, I've been on this journey. I'm just to the point in my weight loss where you can notice. You know, my face has dropped some weight. My pant size has gone down. I can now get in single-digit jeans. And those are huge milestones, and I'm proud of me, and I'm excited. These are great things. It's just, I've been on this journey slow and steady. And I lost another pound this week, you know, 1 whole pound. But that's a gentle pace. Some weeks I only lose half a pound. Some weeks the needle doesn't move at all. But I just continue on. And I'm after overall health. You know, I love seeing the scale go down. What mama doesn't love to see that number go down and reach those goals? But I'm on an overall health journey, which does include weight loss, but I'm healing many other parts of my body. Focus. Okay, let's see if I can get, let me turn this heat down. Woo! I'm trying to teach my teens about cooking low and slow. Haha, take my own advice. Now, reading the book. Okay, we got the chicken going, so now we need broth, cream, remaining butter. Okay. I'm doing about half of my little bit more than, was it times 6.5 recipe? Stick with me, kids. It's always an adventure. Okay. Trying to do about half a cup of this heavy cream right now. Okay. And then for the broth, overall, if I was doing the whole 10 pounds of chicken, it'd be 5. I'm gonna do about 2.5 cups of broth. Now there's a thickening agent that they use a lot. They call it glucky, can't say the word. Anyway, I don't have any of that, and they use that a lot. I feel like I do have it, I just can't put my hand on where I put it. So at the end, when we need to thicken, I'm going to use xanthan gum, which some people think is the devil and some people don't. It's just a natural thickening agent. You can get it from Bob's Red Mill. I use it a lot as a natural thickener instead of cornstarch or something like that. It's also gluten-free. Anyway, choose your own adventure with that. Ouch. And it says to only flip the chicken once. And we're gonna be making this delicious thick sauce, which I'm excited. Okay, and it says add the chicken, cook for 6 minutes, turning once. I'm past that, but I'm gonna set my timer for probably 3 minutes here. And that's good. Okay, while we wait, I can add in more rice. And this does not go in this particular recipe, but we are prepping ahead. Now I know we needed 12.5 cups of rice. My eyes have glazed over. I lost count at some point, but it'll be okay. So here's how our chicken is looking right now. There's our rice doing its thing. So things are coming together. Here's my messy workstation, catching my trash, taking the chicken, rolling into the seasonings, cooking in the pan. So we'll finish this and we'll do our next batch. I can probably just set that aside and that rice will continue to cook, and we'll get our second cast iron. Let's do that. Everything quickly, right? Broth. I'm always heavy cream. To do a half teaspoon of xanthan gum in this first pan. It thickens up pretty quickly, and you really don't need that much, even from me. Even I know this. So that's it. Put my watch timer back on for my other chicken. The cooking station from afar. So here's how things are going. That pan's done. This pan is finishing up. Still gonna add the xanthan gum to it here in a few minutes. Alrighty. My chicken trash thrown away. I have that big bowl filling up with water, soapy water. And Now we're just going to add our little half teaspoon of San to this. And it says in the recipe it's not supposed to be a super thick sauce. It just helps the situation a little bit. It's so good. I'm just eating a piece from the pan because it's that good. Alrighty, so I have these other Pyrex containers that I have bought. I have put leftovers in separate little portions in here. I haven't actually froze them, but I'm going to put chicken and sauce in different containers, and I'm using my canning spoon because this is what I washed off and still have available. Put some of the sauce in here. And so this would be great with like some cauli rice, just zucchini, or you know, my favorite, roasted radishes, or Brussels sprouts or broccoli. This is the protein ready to go. And so for an example on how I would use this, there's 4 pieces of chicken in here with the sauce. I would set this out from the freezer to the refrigerator to defrost, and then the following day I would have half of this for lunch with whatever accompanying side item I'd like, and I would have the other half for dinner, and that would be just fine for me. We got another one. There we go, yay, freezer meals and meal prepping. I still have 4 small pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and cook up 2. We'll have everything out. Yay! So here's how those last 3 pieces of chicken turned out, and I'm just going to freeze them and use them and like it just fine. We're also doing those 3 accidentally defrosted steaks on this little grill over here that we're trying out too. So here's that setup. We got the little temperature probe in there. So now we are gonna do the chicken fried double rice. The first thing I'm gonna do, I got about 3 3/4 of liquid egg whites here. We're gonna get these cooking in the pan first. So the egg whites are done. We're gonna just let those set for a few minutes. I'm going to peel the carrots. We also have some sesame seed oil and liquid aminos. It calls for soy sauce, and this is a soy sauce alternative. Some garlic. We're gonna put some peas in there. This is gonna end up being about 2.5 cups of peas. And then yay for using my rice cauliflower. So we're using 5 bags of this. But right now we're gonna get these carrots prepped. some sesame oil in our pan. And of course, we're doing this, was this ×5 or we've mega multiplied this recipe, okay? Yeah. It's good, stick with me, it's good. All right, so we got 3 of the carrots done. I did 2 tablespoons of sesame seed oil. It was saying 1½ teaspoons, but we have multiplied by some number that we did previously, and so I'm winging it pretty decently per my usual. So we're gonna get these carrots in here, and then we're supposed to add in the riced cauliflower and the peas and garlic. Also saying green onions. I missed that. I don't have any green onions. We'll be okay. So. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alrighty. And for the peas, I'm doing about 2½ scissors. So during my little hour rest, you know, before I started this video, I cleaned the kitchen for an hour also. So the non-filmed energy, I was just tired doing that thing. So I thought it would only be a 15-minute rest though. That's okay. We have lots of things prepped and we are going to keep on trucking. I did get some voiceover done though for some shorter videos while I was sitting. That was nice. So, semi-productive rest, and then for a good half of it, I didn't really do much of anything, and that's also fun. I drank my kombucha. And I definitely see where this is going to overflow in both pans. I didn't finish washing my other one. So I've got the 2½ cups of peas. We're gonna put those in. And I throw a couple tablespoons of garlic in here. Oh, we went with 3 tablespoons there. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get a good bit of this in this bowl, and then we are going to basically warm through that chicken that we already cooked a while ago in the Instant Pot in some sesame seed oil, and then we will combine it all back together. I just can't do both things in the pan, and I think we're able to keep this in one pan, so we are doing things. Okay, fit, wasn't sure, but we did. Oh, we have rice too. When do we add the rice? Okay, so the rice and the eggs and the soy sauce / or liquid aminos we're gonna add to the end. So now it's the chicken, and we were doing 5 pounds of chicken, so let's get this pan going again. Scoop in our 10 cups of the cooked brown rice. And might as well just dump our egg whites into this bowl while we're doing this. They use a lot of egg whites, or they use egg whites instead of full eggs in the E recipes, because the E meal recipes, if you're following that song or dance, are lower fat and medium healthy carbs. So they wouldn't have like a lot of egg yolk when we're using using a minimal amount of the sesame oil through a large recipe and all of those good things. We've also basically done half the rice is the cauliflower rice and then the other half is the brown rice. And again, this one is called egg fried double rice. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. Brown rice, oh, the soy sauce, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the chicken. How much was that? 3 tablespoons times 5. 15 tablespoons is just under a full cup. Thank you, Googling and my calculator. So, how many ounces are you? Okay, well, basically half of this bottle. Let's eyeball it. 16-ounce bottle. Pretty good there. Okay. Yay. Yay, yay. And then we just need to add the contents of this bowl to this can, which, I don't know. Now I'm a little doubtful. It's like we like to say, gonna need a bigger boat. I think we can make it. I think we're gonna do it. It's just fine. We've done bigger, haven't we? I feel like I hear you saying, yes, we have. Are we that connected? Put my hand on the hip, I'll be stirring better. You think that's it? It's either that or hold the pan. Okay, we almost have it all in there. Yeah. Okay. Yay! Yay, we did it. Okay. And my burner's on low. We're just trying to blend it with all that liquid aminos in here now. I'm letting this cool here, but I've also come over to move my camera and taste test it. It's very good. I have to eat dinner, and we just finished this. So yay. Kids had cheeseburgers. Other food has been prepped, but now I'm going to have this chicken fried double rice. Sit down and look at the queso chicken bake recipe, which is next. Probably for 10 minutes, not an hour, and we'll keep cooking. Alrighty, so I'm gonna work on getting the chicken fried double rice, I think that's what they call it, again the book's not in front of me, in these containers, and I'm gonna wait a little bit before I put the lid on it. Yay, we did it. again, with these, I would not defrost one and eat a whole bowl for a meal. I would have, this would basically be 2 meals with some additional on-plan side items that I have. Like I like to say, choose your own adventure, but I'm going to freeze them this way because this is very much how I like to eat, in having something that I can kind of repeat, you know, for lunch or dinner or any way I want to do it. And like I say, we're gonna put these lids on here shortly, and I'll get these in the refrigerator, and we are just gonna keep on trucking. Okay, friends, happy new day. We have some more massive, healthy freezer cooking to do this afternoon, and I have the slew of ingredients that we need. So we need to do the queso chicken bake, and as I was reading through that recipe again last night, I was like, oh, it is actually a bake. So we're going to mix the ingredients, get it in some 9x13 pans, get it in the oven. Now their recipe here that serves 4 is for an 8x8, but by the time I'm done with it, we will have multiple 9x13s, and it is a delicious, delicious recipe, and I will link as close as I can find to it, and again, I will link the whole Trim Healthy Starter book in the description. We have that to do, and then we have this marvelous moist meatloaf. Now, with both of these recipes, we're gonna get our frozen okra action going on, okay? Again, I am not the full expert, but I do love this plan, and I just follow their directions and do what they say with the okra, and it all works out well in the end, and they say that it's slimming and healing and all of these wonderful descriptive words that I appreciate. So we're just gonna blend it up and do what they say. That's all that we're doing. So both these call for okra, and then we still have a delicious dessert that does not have okra in it, but some of their desserts and things do. Okay, let's go. So I've got our cans of black beans draining. I'm gonna go get the can opener. And I got us a couple glass casserole pans. Again, I'm gonna continue freezing these portions in the smaller containers. I'm not going to freeze them in these pans, but I'm going to bake the recipe in them. This recipe also calls for light laughing cow cheese wedges. So we'll see how that works. I use this every day. There's a lot of different things I like to put it on. It also calls for, where are we, unsweetened almond milk. I think I am out of unsweetened almond milk, but we'll eyeball that and kind of figure it out as we go. Okay, so it says to put the chicken, the beans, the corn, the rice, the diced tomatoes in a dish and mix together. So we can do that. And again, I'm off the rails a bit here for our normal, right? I'm just gonna shred this chicken with my hands here for a minute. And this is about 5 pounds of chicken. Okay, so hey, the Mega Mama bowl had to come out for this. So we have the chicken, the beans, the corn, the tomatoes, the rice is what's missing. Let me grab that real quick. Bad on my part. When I woke up this morning after all of our cooking that we were doing yesterday, what was left of that rice that we prepped ahead for this recipe was on the stove. So, oops, didn't mean to do that, but I just made a little more. Now I have multiple spoons happening here. So we will mix this up, and then we're gonna get some okra and some other ingredients going in the Vitamix. Of course, their original recipe wasn't this big. So we will be eyeballing, we will be doing, I don't know what we're gonna do. Stick with me, kid, we're gonna figure it out. I did just go downstairs in my basement and check my basement refrigerator for sugar-free almond milk, which is also just a staple if you're doing this actual plan there. I'm out of sugar-free almond milk. Okay, so this would require how many? Well, 5 cups. So there's going to need to be some more liquid. I'm going to see how things look though once we get, it's the light laughing cow and some spices and the okra and the blender that we're supposed to, let's see their exact quote. It says blend the very soul so there are no bits of okra that can be seen. So blend the soul out of it. So we will follow those recipe directions. Those are my kind of recipe directions. We're gonna blend the soul out of the okra. Just gonna pull this together. So that's a lot. There's 8 of them in here. We're going to trust the process. Okay, so again, they have Gluki, which I don't have. I am using xanthan gum, and it does say to put all this together and blend until completely creamified. So we're gonna go for it. And I'm thinking we'll be doing this in 2 batches. Let me see, chili powder. And I am just switching out. I'm not using quite as much as I would if I had the almond milk, but I am just putting some water in there because this okra has to have something to help it in life. So I did 1.5 cups of water in this batch. Say we like adventure around here. All right, I don't know if the THM sisters would be proud or not, but I think we have achieved the level of blending the soul out of the okra. And this looks pretty thick and creamy, so I think we've achieved that. That was the goal. We're gonna pour this in our Mega Mama bowl there and then do another batch and get this in the oven. We can add that to our life list. Blended soul out of okra. Okay, so there we go. And they did say that when this is done baking, there will be some liquid that we will need to pour off. So that is good to know. So again, we've replaced the sugar-free almond milk with water. And I did not do the full amount. And I'm not using quite as many like Laughing Cow cheeses as called for. for the mega multiplication, but that's because I also need light laughing cow cheese for other things I'm eating this week, but I'm using 16 of them, so that's good. I believe I hit the seasonings pretty well with our first batch, so this is just going to be the water, the light laughing cow cheese, which is like a cream cheese, and the okra in this. Oh, I guess I should do a little bit more sand. So let's mix it up and see if it wants to cooperate, okay? It's gonna be okay. We're good, we're good. We're so, so good. We're full of hope. We're full of hope here. This okra is for the meatloaf situation that we're going to tackle next. And, okay, so now we just put this in 9 by 13 and then sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. I probably just need to use a measuring cup to scoop that out. This looks good. Overflowing my blender plus a pan that did have meatballs in it. That needs to be washed. Okay, one pan down. Let's see, I don't know whether this will be 3 or 4. It looks like it'll be more than 2. Again, their original recipe is for 1 8 by 8 pan. But their recipes are, you know, I've been scaling them up and down, no problem. So, no matter what your family size is, when you get the starter book for these recipes, you will see it's easy to accommodate. Okay. Left. I'm going to see if I have my precious little loaf pan over here. Okay, we got it. Look, we can be sensible. What is this? 5 by 9. Precious. So when you get your book, know that I times 5 this recipe, left out the sugar-free almond milk, and actually cut back some of the light laughing cow cheese, blended the sole out of 1 batch of okra, 3/4 of the way blended the sole out of the second batch, and now we're going to get these in the oven. And it does say you can top with it or not, and you know, we like all the cheese options around here. So these go in for about the temperature they said is 365, okay. And it's for 30 to 40 minutes. So while those are going, we are going to get going on, let's see how many times I can say the word going, the meatloaf. And hopes and dreams. The sun is still shining. It's early in the afternoon. I have this is some additional meal prep for the coming week. I have several jars of potatoes. I would like to go ahead and do like some Parmesan potatoes in the big skillet for the kids. I also have several bags of radishes that we can roast, and I wanted to prep some sweet potatoes. So that's kind of my plan as we continue rolling this afternoon. We'll get the meatloaf in the oven next and then prep some of these side items for the coming week that'll go with different meals that we're also cooking up. And this is the aftermath of the THM cooking. Lots of good stuff, always lots of fun ingredients. Okay, and I took out Queso bakes, and I'm trying to get going on the meatloaf, and I'm hungry. And I'm like, oh wait, I have food ready. So I'm just going to scoop myself out some to eat, and then we'll do the meatloaf. We're about to go real off the rails here. It'll be fun with this meatloaf. The way that their recipe is in the starter book, it's 4.5 pounds of meat, and we have 13 pounds of defrosted ground beef. But that is good because meatloaf is one of those things that everybody loves around here. And my egg whites were accidentally put in the freezer. So I've been defrosting them. So we have that for this recipe. And I really wanted to use, I could have used one of the 30-quart bowls, but I wanted to use this other bowl. I have the ground beef in. Okay, so the blender has come back to life. That is very nice. I always appreciate that. I have all of our ingredients here. Egg whites cooperated. We got our onions chopped. Now in their recipe that you'll see in the starter book, they do talk about putting a small amount of ground beef in a food processor with some of the onion and the okra. And again, we're off the rails already. Let me find, there's my scissors. But let's get the okra going in Vitamix, and we will go from there. This is all filed under Jamerrill, going off the rails. Okay, now, lid. So happy trails off the rails. Our adventure will continue. Now, Trim Healthy Mama folks have its Trim Healthy Naturals, Trim Healthy Mama Baking Blend. We're using this as one of the binders in this meatloaf, and we will also use this for a lot of their desserts that we're gonna make. I do think I have to tweak what dessert I was going to do in this video because of the out of sugar-free almond milk situation, but we're going to make one of my absolute favorites that I haven't made in quite a while. But anywho, focusing on the meatloaf. So let's see here. So off the rails with our amount of ground beef. Now I'm just going to put in this okra and say prayers because it's gonna all be great. And the sleeves on this dress haven't bothered me until now. We'll see how that goes. Put in our tomato paste. Go ahead and get my watch and my bracelets off. Prepping ahead. Okay, so hello. A whole lot of onion. I'm already thinking maybe we should have used the 30-quart bowl. Okay, and then baking blend. And the baking blend is, it's oat fiber, organic coconut flour, golden flax meal collagen peptides, natural almond flour, and konjac extract powder. Contains almonds and coconut. It is also gluten-free, which is nice, so when I bake up many of the desserts over time here, gluten-free folks can enjoy them as well. And it says in the back, muffins, biscuits, pancake waffles, cakes and breads, gluten-free, GMO-free, excellent source of fiber. So anyway, I get, see, this is the 48 ounce. So yeah, I usually get maybe 3 of these bags at a time, and I just got a new shipment in of those. Okay, mineral salt and pepper. Go this way. Okay, eyeballing the amount of pepper. Eyeballing the amount of salt. And then garlic. Come on, garlic. Excuse me while I just dump some in, because you know that's how we roll. And then we also have nutritional yeast that we're going to put in. Also about half a cup. Alrighty, so that mixed up pretty well. Okay. I have 3 9x13 pans. I have no idea how many this will fill, so we're about to find out. And then we're going to mix up. Hello, there's the ice maker dropping ice. We're going to mix up. What do they use? Now I'm reading you another part. Tomato paste, the prepared mustard, gentle sweet, which is one of their wonderful sweeteners that they sell. I don't have that, but I have some knockoff monk fruit brown sugar substitute, and apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of water. We're gonna put that in a bowl and whisk it up, and that's gonna be our glaze for the top. Fruit. Ew, faux brown sugar. I also like they have these little hydrate packs. You put them in your water. It's like electrolytes and deliciousness. I have not gotten those recently, but I have ordered those from them several times, and they are just very nice. Alrighty, so we're all mixed up, and I am going to use this on the tops. Okay, well this is sad. I have a whole box of the Truvia packets, but this is all I have left of my brown sugar, monk fruit sweetener. I don't have any other sweetener, and I don't have their particular gentle sweet blend. So anyway, I've added more monk fruit. My Walmart grocery pickup order for in the morning. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get any desserts done in this video, but let's go prep some side items because we can do that while the meatloaf is cooking. And we have all of those queso bakes. We can also get in little happy containers, like the Bob Ross of YouTube Mega Food happy containers, and we will, those really need to go. Let's see how far we get with these. I have these radishes that need to fulfill their destiny. So we are going to roast these, and then they will be prepped for a few days. Roasted radishes taste like a mild little potato, and I like eating them with all kinds of things. And when I have them prepped in the fridge, they are easy to heat through, warm up whenever I need them, and I will even have one for breakfast. So we're gonna wash these and trim them up here, roll them in some olive oil, do some salt, pepper, probably garlic powder, and get them in the oven. So the radishes are prepped, and I have some red minced garlic salt here. And that's what else I am going to sprinkle on. And then we will get these roasting in the oven. It does take a few minutes to prep them, so it's just always good to put a podcast on, put some music on, and get through prepping them. Alrighty, so I have a bag of sweet potatoes, and since we have a lot of things we are prepping, so I'm going to do these sweet potatoes, one is bad though, in the Instant Pot. You know, I have 57 people to feed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to 5 that will have a sweet potato. Potentially, sometimes there's only 2 that will have a sweet potato. So I'm just going to do this 1 6-pound bag. We're going to roast these canned potatoes here in a moment. Also, we're going to do some Parmesan potatoes and big cast iron. But this will give some options. Refrigerator. These will be eaten with dinner tonight, which we did 4 of those cheap hamburgers this afternoon, and we have enough left to do dinner. So we will have cheeseburgers, hamburgers, whatever kind of burger you like, and these roasted potatoes. But this makes it easy to do fried potatoes when you use your canned potatoes. Everyone at my house loves this. So we'll have a bunch tonight and we'll see if there's any left for tomorrow. So, on my grocery pickup list, order, picking it up in the morning, is also some freezer tape. There's my microwave timer. Is it going to be big? Okay. It's some freezer tape, and so on these smaller, like normal size little containers that I'm using this go around, I'm going to just put some freezer tape and label it that way, and that will help me keep my freezer organized. Now I'm going to make some plates with burgers and roasted potatoes, or I mean, we have 4 giant meatloaves here, so I'm actually going to have some meatloaf and some roasted radishes. There's options, yay! All right, and here's my mama dinner. I got my meatloaf and my roasted radishes, and I am happy. We are going to make those 3 dozen Trimtastic Cupcakes, and I need to wash out my silicone muffin cupcake liner pans. I'm resisting the urge to call them tins. They're not, they're made of silicone. We're going to do that. Then I also, my daily little Walmart grocery pickup order, I got freezer tape. Also, I can show you, yay. I was thinking, how am I gonna label all those little containers? So we got freezer tape. You know, whenever I do like the 9x13 or the 10x15 pans, we just write on the foil and such, but with these containers, we're gonna do a lot of freezer tapes to label things. I'm gonna show it all to you. We're doing the things. So anyway, we will just get these washed up. I pulled them out of the cabinet and I was like, yeah, these need a little wash. So then we will make our cupcakes. So we're gonna get a bowl going for this. I had to bring up, I have brought up another box of eggs. I think I've got all our ingredients out. But as I said, I did pick up our sweetener. I also did get sugar-free almond milk. I'm going to just use that in my next video though. I use that for all kinds of things. If you were looking for some recommendations, they have this pristine whey protein powder and the cookies and cream. I ordered this one because they were out of their other flavors, but this is delicious. I have one of these every day. It's fantastic. And then also they have, it's an unflavored protein powder, but there's lots of recipes you can use that in as well. That's just sitting in my slow cookers because that's where it should be. All right, so in this recipe, and like I had shared, I will link different variations for you down below. And I'm just realizing how it looks like I took a shower while I washed those silicone liners. This recipe you can use with zucchini and you can also use it with canned pumpkin. And so this is a 29-ounce can. We're also putting in eggs, egg whites, butter, their baking blend that I shared about yesterday. A little sweet, but we are going to use monk fruit. Thank you, Walmart, for saving the day. Aluminum-free baking powder, vanilla extract. They say stevia extract. I don't have any of that. Baking soda, some salt, some cocoa powder, and then we're also going to do a homemade sugar-free icing for this. That is also delicious. So we're gonna jump right in. So I got our pumpkin. And I think I have always used pumpkin in this. Maybe once or twice I've done the grated, shredded down zucchini, but pumpkin has just always been easy to come by and open a can for. And for the triple batch that I'm doing of this, it's just one of these, and that makes that nice. And you can do it in cake form or cupcake form. The cupcakes are done quicker, so that's why I've always gone for them. Okay, and then we'll do our eggs. And then we have a cup and a half of egg whites. Still a little ice in there from where these got defrosted. Nice little bonus ice chips. Might end up having exactly a cup and a half defrosted. Oh, come on, you can do it. 16 ounces, but when it's frozen. Okay. Come on, I know your egg whites in those ice chips. No problems here, no problems. Okay, and then butter. So, it is just mixing it together. Okay. It doesn't say to soften, but I'm going to butter. Get our baking blend going. And the way I'm doing this, it's 2 1/4 cups of baking blend. Okay. 2 1/4 cups of, they call for gentle sweet, which again, you can order from them, and I have before. And I just did an order with them, and I got the protein powders that I showed you, and the baking blend, and I'm trying to think what else I got. I think that might have been it. But I got 3 of those big bags of the baking blend, because when I get doing their baking projects, I go through a lot. But like I say, it is gluten-free. My folks enjoy it. And our vanilla. Boy, we've got some homemade vanilla down in the basement, haven't we? And our baking soda. And it's just a couple pinches of mineral salt, so just throw that in. And now a lot of cocoa powder. Alrighty, so we were able to get 3.5 dozen. We got a bonus half dozen there of those Trimtastic Cupcakes. Those are in the oven. Now I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to work on labeling all those other freezer meals that are currently in my refrigerator. I need to actually get them in the freezer today, but I'm going to show them all to you first. Okay, so I almost forgot the best part, which is this delicious icing. And it is heavy cream, and it is sweetener, and it is cocoa powder, and there's lots of variations online with this too. I got 1.5 cups of cream, and that is all the heavy cream in this house. When I get cooking and filming, it seems like lately I need heavy cream. So I best get some more in my Walmart delivery truck, right? And then I've got 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So whenever you get your Trim Healthy Starter book, this recipe is on page 155, and it is nice and sensible. It's for a dozen cupcakes or one 8x8 cake. just assumed that bottom one needs to go to the top. Yeah, okay. Good. All right, so they're boiling hot, but I'm hungry. So I'm eating them. Tobin's eating one. His is cut. It's cooled a little bit, but mine are not, but they're so good. These are little pieces that fell. So, what? 3.5 dozen will go quick. I guess that's my point. These will not go in the freezer because we are eating them quickly. So we should have made 6 dozen if I was gonna actually have a few days worth of these. They're that delicious and they're that popular at my house. So at least they're healthy and sugar-free, right? Yum. So here we are, we have packaged up our well over 40 easy, healthy, and delicious freezer meals, mostly using the Trim Healthy Starter book that I will link down in the comments below. And I will also link other appropriate recipes that I did as we find them online. I have found several of them, but be sure to get the book too, because I'm going to do several videos cooking up these delicious and healthy meals for the freezer. I think that you will find all of these recipes are very enjoyable. So I am using the freezer tape that I got to just take a few minutes. I think it took me less than 15 minutes. So I like to set the timer on my watch just to time these little tasks. I like to know how long things take me. And if I set my timer for 10 or 15 minutes, it's kind of like a little challenge. Like, okay, this looks like a lot labeling these 40 meals, but I know I can get this done pretty quickly. Let's just do it. And so I am looking at the page numbers and I'm writing down whether they are an S meal or an E meal. As I say, these meals are sugar-free. Many of them are gluten-free. Their baking powder is also gluten-free if that's what you need. We also prepped several pounds of sweet potatoes and roasted radishes and made the 3.5 dozen Trimtastic Cupcakes, which I can report from the future that those were definitely gone within 2 days. Folks of all ages and stages loved those, and I liked having them ready to go too. Like I said, I only wish that I had done 6 dozen, so maybe another time we will do that. But here's all our meals that are going in the freezer, and these will make for helpful convenience lunches. Many of these are packaged in a way, so there's definitely 2 to 3 servings at least. So we got well over 100 servings in this massive from scratch freezer cooking. For my real mama life, having these lunches and dinners in the freezer ready to go, my future self and the future selves of my house full of folks are already saying thank you. So friends, right now we are going to work on getting all of our ingredients together. I need to get my flour out, also baking soda. My recipe, how I have it over on largefamilytable.com, calls for cinnamon, but I think we're going to use some apple pie spice today because that sounds delicious. We are going to soften 4 sticks of butter, which is 2 cups. We're going to use 4 cups of sugar in this recipe, but again, remember how I have this recipe. It makes 4 dozen muffins. We're using 4 eggs. We're using vanilla extract, of course, applesauce, and then you can also add in walnuts if you like. And I'm also doing things like getting my measuring cups and of course our tablespoons, because we love to measure with tablespoons around here. Just getting everything prepped and ready to go to get going with our first recipe, which are these large family style applesauce muffins. Yay. And yes, it's gonna be Mega Mama Bowl time. I don't know if I sung that or not, but definitely going to use our bowls today. And so we're gonna get going on these applesauce muffins now. We are doing this. Look at us, I am proud of us. Okay, and then for our lighters, I'm still using these silicone ones. Good job. So I'm going to do 8 cups of flour. I had this little bitty batch of flour left. Okay. Put things together. Okay, so it's 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5. Can't be today. We are gonna get cooking, right? And then we have our baking soda from Azure. I am feeling it in my soul that I would like to get an Azure order in. It's been, okay, it's April when I'm filming this. It hasn't been quite a year yet, actually. I think I did my last Azure order maybe last June or July of 2023. And I haven't been in the headspace to just process, just to do an Azure order. But I think we're getting there. Alrighty, and I'm going to use the apple pie spice. So it's 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of apple pie spice. And since I have those 2 metal bowls in use, I'm just gonna work on our other ingredients. And we got the Mega Mama bowls, that's what they're here for. Scrape the sides to get every little speck out, which we'll throw that all in there. So if your applesauce reads 46 ounces and you need 32 ounces, just dump the whole thing in there, it all works out. That's what we've learned with our great value applesauce, right? Rub down our muffin containers with some olive oil. Okay. And really now I'm thinking with these silicone liners, I'm just off my game with some things, with how some things work and such, but that's okay, we're getting back in it. I'm like, maybe these don't even need it. Yay, okay. So let's see if I don't do my famous overfilling. It's always nice when I can be sensible. Okay, so we got these. Those in the oven in a moment. applesauce muffins that we are going to get in the oven now. And here's our little bonus half dozen of our little mini loaves too. Okay, since I got my little bonus going, I'm going to turn my other oven on. Batch of muffin batter mixed up too. This isn't fully preheated yet, but I'm down at this in the universe, so we'll go ahead and throw it in. Okay, next batches. All right, and I have a teen volunteer who is going to do 5 loaves. Well, they're gonna count how many dozen pieces of French toast that is, but they got the French toast making station going, yay. Hey friends, and here is the teenage French toast making station. Isn't that just beautiful? I am so proud, a proud mama, yay. Now these next 2 batches of muffins, I'm just looking off my blog today, largefamilytable.com, as we're doing these particular muffin cooking. I do have several Mega Muffin products over in my shop that are all thought out. We've got the prep guide and everything. It's 10 muffin recipes each pack, and you just can have a big muffin cooking day in particular and fill several shelves of your freezer for, breakfast and lunch muffins. I'm not cooking off one of those today though, because what today is a continuation of is a few weeks ago I had a video that came out and we did like 217 super mega breakfast freezer meal sandwiches. And this is the rest of my list from that day where I kind of planned it fly by the seat of my pants. Plus, of course, now I've added some other recipes and projects to it. So I'm not cooking a mega muffin pack in particular, and where that comes into play is the other 2 recipes I have picked from off of my blog. Sometimes when I post recipes over there, most of the time actually, I try to stay true to large family style, big batch recipes, and like have the muffins over there to be 4 dozen or so. But the next 2 are written out sensible, because once in a while I'm like, oh, maybe I should be sensible. And they are for 12 muffins each. So we'll fly through and do that math, is all I'm saying here. Check on our little loaves. Oh, those are looking precious too. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to count out loud to keep it straight. Easier this way. So 1 needs 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. I'm just breaking these apart with my hands. Why not? Okay, bananas. So here's our applesauce muffin situation out of the oven. We're taking a lunch break in here, and we're gonna keep on a-rolling. Okay, so here's an example. Those 2 of the precious little applesauce muffin mini loaves that we did, and I just had someone set the butter out, so we're gonna slice these open, put some butter on it, and then they're gonna have it with an apple for lunch. Yay. Alright, so we also have the muffin liners, the silicone liners rinsed off. We've got those baking pans ready. And so now, ready, set, go. We are going to start on our next batch of muffins. And again, I will link the recipe down below. I am doing it times 4. So 3, 2 teaspoons of salt. So we'll be finishing out this bag here. Ooh, problems. Let's see. Well, Okay. finishing out the bag. I won't tell if you won't. 2 teaspoons of salt, and then we're doing 4 baking soda. Okay, and then we're doing 3 cups of sugar. This is my 1.5 cup measuring cup. Smelling like French toast in here also. And then 8 tablespoons cocoa powder. Okay. And because these will look chocolate with the cocoa powder, they will be super popular. I'm the same way. I love having those Trimtastic Cupcakes ready to go. And I would say just about all of my folks here love those too. So that's why when I make them, I do 4 to 8 dozen easy, right? Mega Mama bowl exchange. And, okay. Alright, so we will do, I'm gonna do the gong into the bowl, right? Do 4 more eggs. And then we have our 8 bananas. And I sat while I ate my lunch, and I tell you that little, 15 minutes. That was just what my body needed, because now I feel all spunky again. Okay. Eyeballing it. Okay, and also 2 cups of milk. And that's about 2 cups there. Now, how I have this recipe over on the blog is with the mini chocolate chips, which you can also do. And those are really cute to sprinkle on the top once they're still warm when they're done baking. But no one will mind regular old size chocolate chips. Pretty good. Okay, I'm just also prepping for our next little rinse off. wash down soaking. And then over here, we've got our 4 dozen muffins and then half a dozen of these loaves. So this could easily be stretched. I could have just done another dozen and done 5 dozen. So there we go, lots of happy muffin kids. We are gonna just keep on working with our big batch freezer cooking. We got some more muffins that we're doing here in a few minutes. Alrighty, so we are gonna get going with these pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. I'm going to just pour some more flour into this bowl here. Locate some more of my cups. Okay, we're doing it. So I have this recipe up over on my blog, and it's for a dozen muffins, and of course we're going for 4+ dozen. So I'm reading my recipe and then also doing my math on the fly here. So we're going to use 10 cups of flour, 3, 4, 5. I did already get my run in today. Sometimes I do that in the morning. 6. Sometimes I do it in the evening. 7. 8. 10. Okay. 4 teaspoons each of baking powder, baking soda, that's half a tablespoon. cinnamon and pumpkin pie spice. All the gongs, huh? I'm doing 2 teaspoons each. Okay, boy, cinnamon smells good. Okay, butter. That was the other thing we needed, was butter, which is not the dry ingredients, but as I was looking over the recipe again, I saw that with the wet ingredients, so let me get this melting down. When I stopped filming the other day, when we were working on this, I had thrown the last of those bananas with a lid into the refrigerator. So then when I got them out this morning, I put them back in the microwave for a few minutes. So those are done. We will mix these dry ingredients and then we will do our wet ingredients and get it all together. Get these in the oven. And then I will ask myself on my whiteboard which project we're going after next. Might be those, I think it's going to be actually the breakfast burritos. We'll do some egg, sausage, and pepper ones this time. And we'll slice down those peppers and I'll cook those with the sausage. Or we'll saute them first. We'll decide. We'll decide at that moment, won't we? Okay, so this is good. Do another minute on that, but we will do, this was our 12 bananas. Now we will get our metal bowl gonging, doing our 8 eggs. Use about 1.5 cans of this pumpkin that I have. And then if we are able to get to do more of those Trimtastic Cupcakes, which I sure hope we can, we will use the rest of this can of pumpkin in those. You can also do zucchini with those. We'll run this way. Put the oven on 375. Alrighty, and then I do need to go back to our dry ingredients and add 2 teaspoons now of salt. It'll be 2 heaping teaspoons. Gong, gong. And then last we will fold in those chocolate chips. Bring my little foot pad down here. Yes, we can make muffins with one hand tied behind our back, haha, or when Mama is eating a low-carb, Rebel delicious ice cream sandwich for her afternoon treat, because I'm not putting this down, and my body was like, let's have something sweet. So there we go. That is what I had, and that's I say part of my little plan. I am fine with the Rebel ice cream products once in a while. And so we are just continuing to make wondrous things happen by wiping down these little silicone muffin liners with our olive oil and using the measuring cup to fill each of these liners with our muffin batter. I feel like I overfilled them quite a bit actually. So yeah, there's no going back. Okay, so it just kept on biggering and biggering like Dr. Seuss, huh? So we've got 5 dozen muffins that are going in the oven, and we have a loaf, and then we have these 6 mini loaves. And as I shared with you, I feel like these are a little over full. But at this point, I guess what I could do is take like a spoonful of batter from each muffin and maybe a fourth of what's in here and try to get another loaf. I just don't know. I don't know. I'll stand here and think about it for a minute, and then we'll just watch the video and see what I end up doing, huh? Okay, this is where inspiration is striking. So here's my little mini muffins. I've got 2 of these, and so I'm gonna wipe these down and just put a little extra in these, get more for our efforts. So we have Jamerrill's Explosive Baking. So we've got 5 dozen. We have a loaf. We have half a dozen mini loaves. And then we have 2 dozen of these mini muffins. So let's start working all this through the ovens. Our little parking lot and we will do a little cleanup. Alrighty, so here's how I have everything sitting out for the moment, and we just put in our 2 pans with the 4 dozen mini muffins in there and the loaf. Everything else ended up turning out lovely. Even those little mini loaves, we're gonna have those as an afternoon snack here shortly. We did great not exploding these muffins. I mean, there are some that obviously I took, you know, I mean, this is this makes people happy. It does not have to be perfection, right? So here's a little bit smaller one. There's a nice big one, but still, you can tell which ones I took some batter out of. I'm proud of our muffins. Alrighty, friends. Also, the continued breakfast burrito project inspiration has hit. I have the tortillas. These were left over from the last time I made breakfast burritos a few weeks ago, and we just threw these in the refrigerator. So it would be wonderful to get those made out. I have 6 peppers that, I mean, there's no mold on them, but they look pretty pitiful. They're pretty wilted. I do have 2 things of the, are these 3-pound rolls? The 3-pound rolls of Jimmy Dean sausage from Sharp Shopper. It was $4.99 for 3 pounds. I wasn't sure, I actually forgot. Last time I did breakfast burritos, I didn't think I had sausage, but I found some today. Oh, I was gonna get this sausage starting to just defrost a little bit. We will cook it from frozen. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna let that go. And then I probably have more eggs already open. Okay. We'll work on using these, open those, and then get going on whatever we're gonna decide to do with the peppers. I'll chop an onion, sausage, get going on those things. I always, when I do these big freezer cooking days, I just ask myself, what feels like the next win? And since we just got the gold star for baking and getting some baking going for today, I feel like now I'd like to stand and cook 6 pounds of sausage and work through these breakfast burritos. I think I'm feeling like that's the next win that I would like. Okay, so I'm getting stuff ready, getting in that breakfast burrito frame of mine. So these are our sad little peppers that we're going to saute up. I also have 2 onions, and then to make some of my THM breakfast burritos for myself, I have these 2 packs of keto-friendly wraps from Aldi. And let's see here, yeah, so 4 grams of fat in each of those. This one's 4.5, and so I will make myself 12 of these that we will wrap and label so Mama can have some too. Alright, that was the perfect use for these 6 lonely and much needed to be used peppers. Now we will get these cooking up in some olive oil. Maybe once we get the peppers and onions sauteing, although then we really should mix up our eggs, huh? And we're gonna play guess how many dozen we need, or guess how many burritos. I'll probably just do a whole box of eggs. Does that sound about right? I think so. Okay, and so, better take the little mini muffins out. They cooked up delightful. And my loaf obviously is going to need a little longer. But it's doing pretty good though. I'm proud of us. Whew, explosive baking success, huh? So that was times 4 that recipe. And experts tell me baking is a science, and sometimes my science experiments, you know, we know how things go. So I times 4 my recipe and got a whole lot more, which is okay because I feed 57 children, haha, and I never mind a whole lot more, but that was just funny how that batter, it was like, I don't know, the bag of beans that didn't run out. I wish I could think of an example. There has to be some book, tell me, some childhood story of something Okay, Jesus, okay, the best example, multiplied the fish and the loaves, right? That's what happened, only not by Jesus, just by this little mega mama here. We had major multiplication with the pumpkin chocolate chip batter. It just did not want to quit. And so again, we got 5 dozen muffins, a half dozen of the mini loaves, 4 dozen of the mini muffins, and then a whole big loaf. And they're just cooking up fantastic, perfect. I've got this sausage, put it on the lowest setting. Keep coming back to check in on it, break it up, stir it around as I'm doing other things around the kitchen. And we will stir this sausage one more time. Been a while, and yeah, let's use my little draining thing I make up. Okay. Let this drain while we do the eggs. Okay, now we'll bring these eggs over. Okay. Get this cooking now. Got several of these big bowls to wash now. Actually, I will dump our sausage and turn my fan off. Our sausage and our sauteed vegetables, woo, that drain. It just looked like this was a job for a Mega Mama bowl. And we will, of course, be adding another big batch of scrambled eggs to this. 6 pounds of sausage was I probably only needed 2 or 3, but we had it, and it will certainly make up for the burritos where I have not done sausage. Nice and sausagey, and we'll put a bunch of cheese in here too. Be delicious. I'm thinking about just for dinner also heating up a pan of these. I know teenagers would like that as well. Just put about 6 cups of shredded cheese in here. See if I can hold a camera and stir. Now, with one hand, we can do it. Alrighty, so here we go with our 30-quart bowl and our sausage, egg, and cheese, and onions, and used peppers. Look at us, we're doing things. We are going to, or did I say used peppers? Needed to be used up peppers. Okay, getting the tired mama voice going, but that's okay. The sun is actually still shining outside. Thank you, time change. And we are gonna make, let's see, however many dozen sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast burritos. Alrighty. Okay, so as I got doing these keto-friendly wraps, I just got to thinking I could do these as sheet pan quesadillas. Probably not all these larger flour tortillas, but these smaller ones, you know, they'd be a little more difficult to wrap as a burrito. Anyway, these are on the smaller side, but they would be perfect as sheet pan quesadillas. So you saw we used the last little bit of parchment paper. I don't know if I can even fool with that right now. Give me a full sheet. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for myself. Watch me meal prep. And I have frozen quesadillas also and then reheated them in the microwave. But I'm going to just do all 12 of these because they have a precious little wrap. See how many we can get on a pan. And then whenever I do sheet pan quesadillas, I take another sheet pan and put it on top to flatten. I could also do them in some oil on your stove top, but not tonight. Not tonight, right? Whew, I almost feel like that's a little pizza I'm losing control over. Okay. 6 on the side. Let's just see if we can push it and get all 12 on here. Okay, nice. This is how it's looking. Okay, let's do our other 6. It says multi-seed, high fiber. Get it open. I might open it. Okay. I'm excited about these. I'm going to have one of these for dinner. And something like this, I would probably have like a dollop of Greek yogurt and some hot sauce that I would dip it in. That would be my idea of that time. Kind of laying over each other there. I think it'll work though. Now, I've never frozen these keto-friendly wraps from Aldi, but many, many times I have frozen the low-carb mission wraps, and the texture feels a little different, but they can't have too many differences there. So anyway, I feel like these will work out just fine. See if my Mega Mama Big Batch Cooking Spidey sense leads us properly. Okay, so there's our sheet pan of our Trim Healthy Mama friendly quesadillas now, right? We can just make breakfast burritos and quesadillas. I'm going to just put this sheet pan on top. And now put it in the oven and prep our other breakfast burritos. Here we go. take a burrito break for a minute and see how these sheet pan quesadillas are looking. Let's see. Nice. Let's see here. Sorry, multiple things happening with one hand available. Yes, very nice. I guess I could have also put a little oil on them, but they should be delicious. Alrighty, so here's how we have our little assembly line set up. I just scooped some oats into this from my 25-pound bag, and we will do the half cups from there. But let's look at what we've got available. So we're going to put in half a cup of almond milk, half a cup of old-fashioned oats, and then I want to do a variety where we do the teaspoon of natural peanut butter, and then we do some cocoa powder, and then I was getting all these ideas. Oh, and also my friend Lexi put in the whey protein powder into each variety that she made. I will use monk fruit as my sweetener, and then I thought we will do a few strawberry flavor. I'm just going to put a few whole strawberries in there with some Greek yogurt. I also will probably do a few with these white chocolate chips sprinkled in. And then I love this cookies and cream. I do shakes with this, except I forgot about it for a few weeks. So I pulled this back out, and I thought we will do a couple with this cookie and cream whey protein as well. And so let's just get making these and see how it goes. Alrighty, so each jar, no matter what, I know each jar will need half a cup of old-fashioned oats and then half a cup of the sugar-free almond milk. And overnight oats are fantastic cold, right out of the jar. I have done this big batch before. Instead of doing it in jars, I would do it in a large bowl with a lid, some kind of Rubbermaid container, and have overnight oats prepped that way, and then everyone can scoop from that batch. But this is fun, and I know that this is practical for a lot of my viewers, especially mamas who have been following my Trim Healthy Mama journey and would like to meal prep some things for themselves as well. Again, kids are more than welcome to have anything they would like, anything that I prep, but I do have to also think of myself and what I need. What is that? There's a thought. And so doing these little preps for myself helps me. And again, like I mentioned, it's a good way for other folks to test things out, and we can see what they like from there. I was going to measure this out with this liquid measuring cup, and then I was like, no, I just need to get a half cup and not full with it, but I still had some poured in here. So anyway, and so for my viewers who are following along and learning about or doing the Trim Healthy Mama plan, these would all be considered an E-meal, which is a medium level of healthy carbs, lower fat, and anchored in protein. Okay, and we are getting protein from the protein powder that we are going to add. Of course, the almond milk has a little bit of protein. Also, let's see here, the peanut butter, although we're only using a teaspoon of it, has some protein in it as well. Of course, if the ones we do the Greek yogurt, that'll have some protein. So I just had to look up, there's 27 carbs in half a cup of old-fashioned oats. And if you are following along with Trim Healthy Mama, an E-meal is up to around 45 healthy carbs. So for adding more carbs, we'll be able to do more things like a few spoonfuls of that Greek yogurt there and such. So yes, okay. Getting all my little things together here. And I'm just gonna go through and add monk fruit to each jar. And Lexi also added a pinch of salt. Do you think we can do it? Let me pour some in my hand so we can control ourselves here. Who's adding the good stuff there? Oh, I guess I could have put that on my rice. Okay. So this peanut butter is almost out, but we will scrape it. Probably need a butter knife though. 4 of these because again, the legends of me and peanut butter and chocolate are deep and wide. There's just a little bit left, so I'm just scraping this one because that wasn't a full teaspoon. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how much cocoa powder Lexi added, so I'm just going to do a regular spoonful and not worry too much about it. So this pristine whey that I'm using is not flavored. It is just a plain. So you can add it to lots of different things and it won't change the flavor of what you're making. Okay. See if I'm forgetting anything else. That's probably good. Okay, so have those. Want to get an overhead shot for you before I mix them. So next up, I'm peeling strawberries. Let's just add maybe 4 strawberries to each one. They smell good. Okay. Not get my wet hand in the bag. Those, we will just add a spoonful of Greek yogurt to each one also. Seems like a good one to add that to. I will add a spoonful of Greek yogurt for the next 4. We'll do 2 cookies and cream, maybe 2 with vanilla chips. We'll see. Inspiration will tell us when we get there, right? Where did my measuring spoon go? I know I just had it. Let's see, I want to wait and do 2 with the cookies and cream. So if I say that out loud, I'll remember. Okay. So I'll get 2 off. Set this out and make myself another cookies and cream shake tonight. I don't know about you, but I forget things when I can't see them. Okay, got that. Then just want to smell the white chocolate chips and get inspiration. Let's see. There. feel like I should add something else to bulk up the cookies and cream, but I guess not. So here's how our beautiful jars look before we stir them up. Alrighty, and now we are just going to stir them up. Yay. Time for me to mash up my strawberries. So that's what my mouth will do to them anyway. Alrighty, so I do need to wipe these tops off. I'm not even going to label them because I know what I made and I'm going to eat these and love it. And if a kiddo gets a peanut butter and chocolate one, they're not gonna complain. We do have our cookie and cream ones, and then we have our vanilla ones because we got the vanilla sugar-free white chocolate baking chips there. And then back here, these are our strawberry ones, so they should be delicious. And again, they're going to continue to soak up this liquid and expand in volume. So delicious. Hey, look, we meal prepped. Okay, so for a quick and easy win, we're going to focus on the bagel breakfast sandwiches, which are mainly going to be their egg, cheese, and sausage, and then also the English muffin sandwiches. And my kids are experts on getting things out of the freezer, setting them to defrost, or microwaving them even from frozen, and all of that. And so now we are doing the big job here of cracking these eggs in the bowl, and then we're going to mix them up with our hand mixer. And with a little bit of the Redmond's real salt and pepper and some milk, and we will get going with these sheet pan eggs. Alrighty, so that was 5 dozen eggs. It was one of those 60 count boxes, and I'm gonna put in 4 cups of milk and then salt and pepper. And then we will also put a couple handfuls of shredded cheese in here. So we are doing sheet pan scrambled eggs. Spray bottle I used for a while that I refilled with my own olive oil. That worked great for as long as it worked. I don't know if I got 6 months or a year out of it. You could probably tell me better. But anyway, what I've been doing lately is just rubbing olive oil all over my pants without the spray action. So I'm gonna use parchment paper. Probably that's what I would prefer to do. Well, now I just olive oil them. Oh, parchment paper would be better. Quandary. Well, they're already a mess, but parchment paper is my friend. Okay, I gotta stick with my friends. Okay. So no need to use the olive oil if you're using parchment paper. But oh well. Okay, parchment paper will just stick down really nice, huh? And we're going to, I still feel like that needs to be mixed up a little more. And then I'm just going to sprinkle the cheese on top. Alrighty, I'm just going to use a smaller measuring cup here. Dang, see what we have. Alrighty. My alarm going off. You all thought that was your alarm. Don't worry, it's just mine. So here's how our sheet pan, our first go round of these sheet pan eggs go. And yes, with fear and trepidation, I'm getting them into the oven, but that is working out just fine. I did not slop it. Go me. I did get both those big sheet pans in the oven, but I need to put a few more in. So, and I think we're going to need to go ahead and just do another 5 dozen eggs also. Looking at all the bagels and English muffins I have there looking at me. I'm a bit off the rails in my planning slash haha everything. I use my big batch freezer cooking guides over on shop.largefamilytable.com, and these recipes are from my big batch cooking guides, but I did not use one guide in particular. I just asked kids and pulled some guides, so I'm not looking at nothing, obviously. So my amounts are a little more sliding scale than normal, and that's okay. That's how we roll. But looking at the amount of bread and the amount of breakfast sandwiches I'm doing, which again, they go so fast. They go so fast. Okay. We're gonna need more eggs. That's what we're saying. We're gonna need more eggs. We're just gonna go at it again with another box of eggs. And then while these are in the oven, we will start assembling our first big batch of breakfast sandwiches. So yes, we are going for another 5 dozen eggs, because we need so many eggs. And I can report from the future because I did have a recent 6-day trip, and while I am gone, while I was gone, my folks here just tore up those breakfast freezer meal bagel sandwiches and the English muffin sandwiches and the breakfast burritos. They were so very helpful to have prepped and ready to go. They would have used them just the same if I would have been home, but I think it was just very nice for all of us to have that thought through and have those options ready to go and in the freezer. And it's also helpful when I get home from something, or we as a family get home from something, to just have the food prepped and ready for us. And so the first load of sheet pan eggs are coming out, and the next loads are going in. These are super convenient to cut in squares and then add to the breakfast sandwiches. And what my folks usually do, like if it's the breakfast bagel sandwich, they just open it and have both halves there and microwave it open faced and then put it back together. Alrighty, so here's all of our super mega pans of sheet pan eggs. I thought it was 5 pans. We actually did 6 pans full. And so we're gonna cut these in little squares now, and then, well, not too little, I mean good sized squares. And then we are gonna start assembling our sandwiches and get some good wins in with this big cooking time. So yes, I am here just eyeballing it how we do and cutting the eggs into squares.
and then I will be able to use these on our different breakfast sandwiches that we're going to get prepped up. Now, I've done sheet pan fried eggs many times over the years, but sheet pan scrambled eggs is another great way to do it. My freezer cooking stack from our Walmart freezer cooking shopping that we did the other day. These are different items that we are working through and using, but right now we're going to focus on bagel sandwiches first. Now, these go so quick in my house. I am not individually wrapping them. I am going to just reuse these bags and freeze them like this. I would throw these bagels in the freezer like this, however long they would last here. Again, remember, at my house, things don't last that long. So these breakfast bagel sandwiches that I'm making, they're going to be gone. I mean, I don't think they're going to be here in 6 weeks. So I'm not worried about wrapping them in plastic wrap and those kind of things. My teens will just set this frozen bag into the refrigerator, and then they will microwave them to warm them through. And it's a whole popular thing around here when I make these. So anyway, we have onion bagels and we have regular bagels. I mean, to make this all like Susie Homemaker perfect, we could have done homemade sourdough bagels, right? But that's okay. Walmart to the rescue. So here's what we have going down to this first batch. We have our onion bagels, we have our sheet pan eggs, and we have some sausage patties. And now we are getting our bagel breakfast sandwich assembly line going. Even though these are supposed to be pre-sliced bagels, they're not exactly sliced all the way through. So I'm just taking my bread knife and slicing down my bagels, putting on a pre-cooked sausage patty onto the halves, and then we will put our scrambled eggs, which remember it already has cheese cooked into the tops there, and then we will reassemble and work on, the first thing I'm trying is to load these breakfast sandwiches back into the bagel bags. That works to some extent, and so you will see how that all works out for us. And cooking the sheet pan eggs on the parchment paper worked really well. And so for another time, Jamerrill brain, please remember, you don't have to worry about the olive oil on the pan, but that's okay. I mean, we did so many pans, I was able to just use the parchment paper besides those first two. I did have to make sure that for some of the eggs, the parchment paper peeled off whenever I cut them. I cut the parchment paper too. So there you go. Could have been like an Easter egg hunt, but I was able to catch that and peel the parchment paper off the bottom of the eggs where that needed to happen. And I can't quite get the full 5 or 6 bagels back in the bags. So I do, you know, once they're stuffed with breakfast goodness, I do use some other bags and storage containers for these as well. But we're just reusing what we can in the process. Again, if you don't think that your family will rip through these bagels, of course you don't have to make, 57 dozen like I'm doing, but you may want to wrap them in plastic wrap and then put them in a freezer bag from there. I just know the history of my folks here and their breakfast bagel consumption, and I'm like, yeah, these are going to be run through quick. So I'm just doing this easy breezy lemon squeezy freezer cooking and getting them in the freezer for the moment, but they will be consumed very quickly. And now there, where I was just looking all over everything, I was looking for my little breakfast bagel sandwich ties there. I do find them, and I also improvise and use some freezer tape there for a minute. I'm like, where did I put those? Where did I put those? But I do a better job keeping track of them from here on out, and again, when I don't need them anymore. You know what that means? That's, of course, when I find them. Okay, we did it. We are victorious. Here are 50 egg and sausage onion breakfast bagels that will be going in the freezer for these folks to devour as soon as possible. Now this is because I wasn't working off of one of my already prepped and done big batch freezer cooking lists, but I only have, I think, maybe 10 patties in here. That looks like a little more than 10, but not that many, and I have 50 more bagel sandwiches and probably 50 English muffin sandwiches. So this is what I get for flying by the seat of my pants. But I think I have some more sausage patties in a downstairs freezer, so we'll go check. And at least we have some more sausages to keep on working these breakfast freezer meal sandwiches. Alrighty, so now we are going to work on these plain bagel sandwiches. Nothing else is different. It's going to be the same sheet pan eggs, and it's going to be sausage, and no one will complain. Everybody will gobble them up. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whoop, 10. Well, that one already. Okay, I mean, that's fine. One less bagel. So we'll have 49 instead of 50. I won't tell if you don't. Now they do have like bagels and cream cheese also, but that was probably just the easiest bag to grab. So now I am trying to expand our bagel breakfast freezer meal sandwich cooking line here. No more are we trying to do 5 or 6 at a time. I'm like, let's try to do 12 or more at a time. So I am having to slice through these, which is very easy. I mean, at least they are 3/4 of the way sliced. And then I'm going to divide them in half and top with the sausage patties and then the sheet pan egg and cheese slices. And simple as that. Now we're just going to put the tops on all the bagels and get them bagged up. And there's times where my egg squares are a little bit too big for their britches, haha, a little bit too big for the bagels there. And I'm just trying to stretch out the eggs to get as many sandwiches out of them as we can. So I do some little haircuts here and there, and yeah, just make the squares a little smaller from my eyeball in school and just end up putting those on additional breakfast sandwiches. So here we go, success. About 110 bagel breakfast sandwiches. We did it. I hope that you all enjoyed all of this super mega massive freezer cooking. I have been doing these massive freezer cooking videos on YouTube for over a decade now. You can find all of my big batch freezer cooking guides over at shop.largefamilytable.com. Also, I have many recipes over on largefamilytable.com. A bunch of the recipes featured in today's video are from Trim Healthy Mama, using my favorite Trim Healthy Mama starter book that has been so good to me. I will also have that linked down in the description below. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon with another brand new video.